Hello to my fellow glorious Gaians. Thank you for joining me, Amber, on my channel, Guidance Through Gaia, where I do tarot pick-a-card readings. If this is your first time, welcome. I hope that you find something that resonates with you. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you for giving me another opportunity to read for you today. We are looking at the question all about your next date, right? So we're going to be seeing who your next date is with. So these cards right here will depict the energy of that person, and then we will be using the White Newman Sacred Animal Tarot to get information about the date, and then some oracle cards to find out a little bit more about the person and the date. We have 3 piles here. We have pile number 1 with the lightning bolt. We have pile number 2 here with the surfer on the wave of watermelon. And we have pile 3 here with this Jeep, and it says, "Remember, I love you." Okay, so go ahead, choose your pile or piles, and I will see you there. Bye. Group number 1, welcome to your reading. You chose the purple lightning bolt. So this is going to be a reading all about your next date. We're going to look first at the individual that you will be going on this date with, right? So we have card number 13 with the Elf Queen, stating introverted, burden, and responsibility. We have card number 30 with Pallas Athena and Think in reverse. And then we have card number 25 with the Healer. So if we're looking at the lightning bolt, this may be somebody who comes in very quickly, right? This could be somebody, I'm thinking, especially with like the very effeminate, narrow features over here of the Elf Queen. I'm thinking of somebody who might be like a David Bowie fan. This is also somebody that could talk really quickly, or that you have kind of like an electric connection with. This being the Elf Queen card here makes me feel that this individual comes off as very regal, very important. This is somebody who could potentially be older than you. They could have a high-paying position. They could be a notable person in their community or in their industry. They could have long hair, dress very elegantly, very nicely, even if they are masculine. Saying introverted, responsibility, burden. This is somebody, especially since we have the Think card in reverse, who might be somebody who is a little bit quieter, right? They might be the strong, silent type. They might observe before they really make conversation. I would say that this is an individual who does have a lot of deep thoughts, but it takes them a while before they share them. So your first date, you might struggle to have conversation. You may be the individual who ends up talking more if there is a lot of like dialogue that's occurring. But overall, with this Healer card, you know, this is somebody who has been through a lot. They have, I think, evolved from many different versions of themselves, especially with the 3 heads here that we see on the snake. A lot of times when we're thinking of snakes, you know, and this does look kind of like an egg, right? Snakes eat eggs. We can see them as predatory, and there might be an aspect of this person's personality where they might be a little cold, a little distant. They might seem kind of curt in the way that they express themselves, but I don't think it's because they have any ill will. I don't sense that this is necessarily somebody who has an ego either. I think they know their worth and they hold themselves to a certain standard. But I do see them as being somebody who is very kind, very caring. They're not somebody who puts up with bullies. They don't appreciate people who look down on others and who mock others. This is somebody who could very likely be involved in like charity work or humanitarian work, somebody who goes to like protests or is very politically active. I would say this is somebody who is very well educated. Like if you were to go to their home, they might have a lot of books. They probably read a lot of nonfiction literature, maybe watch a lot of documentaries, you know, about the environment, about history, about civil rights issues. And they really strive to make the world a better place. And they want a partner who I feel also shares that similar value. Somebody who respects others for their differences, somebody who is open-minded, somebody who is educated, or at the very least willing to learn. So let's see. You know what? First, let's see if we can get. We'll just play around here, right? I'll take one of the Astro dice and we'll see what signs we get for them. I'll roll it 3 times. Okay, so we've got Gemini. And you could see 2 different sides to them. If this is a connection that you desire to keep engaging with, you might see them initially as somebody who is more reserved, more of a deep thinker, and then like as they open up, you start to see them being more conversational, more laid back potentially than what you had originally anticipated. Oh, we have double Gemini coming up. So Gemini is very prominent. Okay, and then Taurus. You know, and Taurus energy it is ruled by Venus. You know, they are individuals who like pleasure. They are individuals who care about their appearance. And because they're an earth sign, you know, they do favor stability, monetary things. You know, they're not as ambitious as what like a Capricorn might be, but they choose what they put their energy into it, and whatever they dedicate themselves to, you know, they prioritize. This person could have pointy ears, could wear jewelry, could have full lips. They could have one or, you know, a scar on one or both eyes. A birthmark. I'm thinking like right around their neck, or maybe just a prominent birthmark. All right, so tell us about this date. Okay, so the Sun in reverse with the Chariot and the 10 of Swords. I'm laughing because I don't think it's something that you're going to be really excited about at first. And, oh, I'm sorry, it's not the Chariot, it's the King of Cups. In fact, you might find got the Page of Wands. You might find it a little depressing, whether it's because like this is a person who I could see you taking out to like a film festival, right? So if there's like an indie film that they want to support, and it could be something like some kind of documentary or like statement piece, and it might be like, this isn't very lighthearted. It could also be that you feel a little disappointed at first because you may have had certain expectations of how the date was going to go, what it was going to be about. And we've got the Emperor. And then, you know, you get there and you're like, wait, what? The 7 of Pentacles. And the 9 of Pentacles. Aw, but we have the Empress here. So I feel the main issue here with this date is that it's not something more relaxed. It's not something more lighthearted and fun. You know, you might be used to going out to movies, arcades, dinner, and that's not what this person has in mind, because this person is a very deep person. And we have a lot of cards here. Well, several cards here about action, right? The Page of Wands, the 7 of Pentacles. And so there is a sense of work that is involved in this date, right? So it could be like, for some of you, this person might take you out to do volunteering for the community, right? And so you're kind of like, this isn't very romantic, but this is something that this person is passionate about, okay? They want to help others. And I think it's also kind of a test to see, how do you react in situations like this? You know, are you going to show care and compassion to people who are in times of struggle, or are you going to, you know, kind of rebel against that and act as if it's a chore? For others of you, this is something where, you know, it could be like a cooking class. It could be a pottery class, something where you're actively creating something. And you may not be quite used to that, right? Like maybe it's in a group, and so there are other people there that you don't know, and it's kind of awkward, or maybe like you just don't feel like it gives you the opportunity to connect to this person that you're seeing on a more intimate level. Because like when we're at a restaurant, right, we're talking, we're getting to know each other. When we're at a movie, we can be like physically close and it's dark and other people aren't necessarily watching. But if we're at a soup kitchen, or if we are volunteering with animals, like there's this kind of pressure to maybe focus on the task at hand or to appear a certain way. You don't feel like you can have the same kind of conversations that you might otherwise have in more intimate settings. You know, all of a sudden it might feel like more work as opposed to like pleasure. But at the end of the day, I think there is this sense of appreciation that you're able to walk away from, having. Well, that you walk away from this having a sense of appreciation. I think you see this person after this in a very respectable light. You know, you're like, wow, this person is more creative than I thought they would be. Or they're really kind and generous, and you see them as this type of emperor energy, this person that has this inner strength, and is willing to like get their hands dirty or do something different or help their community. It might teach you a skill that, had you not gone on this date, you might not necessarily have known about. This could even be for some like a museum tour, right? Where like you're walking with a guide and you're like, well, we can't even really like talk or hang out or anything. We're just learning about this kind of depressing subject or this art that I really don't know anything about. But I think you're going to walk away with this with a level of appreciation. You know, it's interesting how this emperor is looking at this empress. You know, she's walking away and the emperor is just kind of like, yeah, I could have this woman at my table again, whether you're female or not, whether they're male or not, you know. But I could have the empress, like I see the royalty in this person. I see the characteristics of this person, you know, and this empress kind of leaving the situation feeling emboldened, feeling like, you know what, that was actually kind of dope. That was actually kind of cool. Like, I feel better about myself because I did something different. I learned something really cool about this person. I got to help people. I got to craft something. And so it's I think going to start off a little bit disappointing, a little bit awkward. You're not going to be in your comfort zone when you enter into this date with this person. But by the end of it, I think it's going to change your perspective. And maybe you reconnect with this individual, maybe you don't. But I think it's going to be a core memory of yours for a while, where it's like, you know what? Other people are going to kind of have to live up to this. So we're just going to get some messages. Okay. So we have Forgiving and learning, as you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. I think this is if you've been through a breakup or you have a lot of negative experiences with people in your past. I think this is going to be a very refreshing experience for you. You're going to learn that you're not going to follow the same patterns. You're going to learn there are honorable people out there. And you're going to feel like you are worth more. We have let your friends help you, ask for and accept support from others. Might be a good idea to, just if you're feeling unsure about this, checking in with your friends, talking with them, seeing what they think of the situation, and if it gets serious enough, invite this person around your friends. Let your friends get a feel for them. But your friends are going to be the people who kind of know you the most. And so they're going to be able to tell you if like, hey, yeah, pile one, like, I think you should give this another shot. Or like, well, that sounds cool, but maybe you need some more time to think about it before you make any commitments. Okay, what else can you tell us? Oh, karmic relationship, fleeting triggers, turmoil, resentment, lessons, letting go, and loving you. Okay, oh my God, we have lightning with sudden change, shocking news, surprise, epiphany, upheaval, and transformation. And then we have the snake, competition, enemy, clever, malicious, look over your shoulder, the other woman. What I'm getting from that is if you have any connections to an ex, this is a situation where that ex, if they find out about this, it may cause some drama. There could be, but you know what? That's going to happen no matter where you go, no matter who you date. If you have a jealous ex, they're going to be jealous no matter what. So protect yourself, right? And let yourself have fun. This could be a karmic connection with you and this person, which doesn't have to be a negative thing. It just, to me, means that there is a strong destiny between the two of you, and it could cause a little bit of upheaval. This is a person who I think may need to grow in some ways, and I could see them as being somebody stubborn, who may be like, even though they're kind and a deep thinker, they may be a little bit too set in their ways, and I think that might be challenging for you. And they may also trigger some need for growth in you. But it's interesting here how we have the lightning. So I think, like I said, this is going to come in very quickly. One more message. All right. Confusion. All seekers of truth will experience confusion. Ask the universe to provide the answers you need. There may be some confusion as a result of this. Like we kind of talked about that, what's this confusion about? If we can get any kind of particular message, and it might be because this person may not reveal their hand right away. You might be kind of left thinking like, did they enjoy the date? Did they... past life. We reunite with our loved ones over and over in different lives. That makes so much sense. There might be a sense of recognition that you have with this person, and you've never met them before, right? But they just feel so familiar. I would say it's less important to focus on how you know them, why they feel familiar, and just try to figure out, like, is this the kind of energy, is this the kind of person that I want in my life, that I want to experience more of? Because what happened in the past, especially a past life, we can talk about how past lives kind of influence the present, but I would say as long as we're open to moving forward, we can progress differently than what happened in the past. All right, group number 1, I hope that you enjoyed this reading. If it resonated, please let me know how in the comment section down below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to join the family but haven't done so, you can hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know whenever I upload a new video. And if you're interested in a personal reading with me, go ahead and find my contact information in the description box down below. Shoot me an email and I will send you a list of my services. Also, crazy snake, right? All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye. Hello, group number 2. If you chose the Watermelon Surfer, this is going to be your reading all about the next date that you have and with whom. We're going to look at the profile of the individual you will go on your next date with first. All right, so we have 32 with Fairy Godmother, Revelation, Discovery, and Epiphany. We have 21 with Venus and Beloved. And we have card number 65. 65 with the Prayer. Okay, first of all, with this sticker here, this could be somebody who really loves the ocean, loves coastlines. It could be into surfing or be athletic. They could be, because at this point in my life now, watermelons really represent Palestine to me. So they could be Palestinian or have roots there in some way. They could also be like a vegetarian. Now, with the Fairy Godmother card, and the Prayer card, I feel like this is somebody who seems ethereal, right? This is somebody who, they could be kind of waifish. They could be shorter. If they're masculine, they could be a shorter masculine man. They could be just kind of more like a limber body, very toned or just thin. This could be somebody who has curly hair, fun colored hair. Maybe they dye their hair so it isn't a natural color. They could, for some of you, they could shape their eyebrows. They might have that kind of alternative look to them where, some people very much love that, right? Like, and they kind of get into that kind of alien vibe kind of look. They could wear very kind of like glamorous or funky clothing. I'm getting like the imagery of like the oddities of Bjork, or it could just be that they're very elegant. And I feel like this is somebody who makes wishes come true. They might even feel like a wish come true to you. Okay? This is somebody who believes in the magic of the universe and understands that we all have our own powers. They could be spiritual, they could be religious, they could even be an atheist, but who believes, that we take responsibility for our actions. They could really enjoy doing things for other people, because the Fairy Godmother came in to help Cinderella, right? Like, gave her the dress, gave her the shoes, gave her the carriage, but there were limitations. And so I think this person has like a generous spirit, but they have their limitations. They're not a pushover. I think this is somebody who has kind of done a really big transformation. They might have, when you get to know them more, if you choose to, experience a lot of darkness in their life. Maybe they struggled with addiction, maybe they struggled with abuse, maybe they struggled with poverty or depression, mental health issues, but they've really gotten to the point in their life where they've started to come out of that. They could be sober for so many months, so many years, could have gone through therapy, on good medication. Maybe they're a homeowner now if they were struggling with poverty, have a really good job, have an education. It says here, Revelation, Discovery, and Epiphany. This is somebody who is going to be able to offer different perspectives. I think they're very good at listening to multiple sides of the story, and I think the way that they speak, especially since we have, Venus here, and Venus is, a lot of times we think of like flourish and balance, harmony, love, justice. They are somebody who knows how to make their words hit. Not hurt, but hit. I think this is somebody who would be a very good debater. They're probably very colorful. They could be very creative. They probably have some prominent Libra placements, like a Libra Venus, a Libra rising. Could just be a Libra sun. What else am I getting? I think they're very lighthearted most of the time. I think if they get into conversation, they can have depth to them, and it would be a little bit surprising. Like I said, the way that they can word their perspectives, I think really makes people pause and think. Okay, so we're gonna roll the Astro Dice 3 times to see if there are any placements that are notable. Cancer. Aquarius. Okay. Aquarius energy is very like thinking outside of the box and pretty different, you know. And then we have Virgo. Okay. So let's get into the meat of the date. Tell me about the date between this person and group number 2. Tell me about the date between this person and group number 2. The Page of Swords. The Ace of Cups. And the Chariot. The Ace of Cups is in reverse though. The Lovers in reverse. The Tower in reverse. The Two of Wands in reverse. The Wheel of Fortune. And Justice. There's a lot of major arcana cards here. And then we have the Nine of Wands. I feel like it's going to be a date where there is a lot of talking, just for the fact that we had the Page of Swords as the first energy that popped out, right? And this could happen at like a coffee shop. This could happen at home, at a restaurant, someplace where there is freedom to exchange ideas. This could be, you know, maybe you go to like an open mic night. This could be at a bar. But there is a lot of conversation here. And what I'm seeing is that it's going to be a fairly deep conversation. With the Ace of Cups in reverse, what that means to me is like sometimes that can be emotion of disappointment. That can be emotion of frustration. That can be emotion, like just the emotions that we try to suppress, that we don't really want to talk about, but it's being clarified by the Chariot, right? So I think this is a date where shit gets really real right away. Okay? With the Lovers in reverse and the Tower in reverse, I feel like there is a lot of disconnect here. It seems like maybe you find out that you and this person are not on the same page. And I don't think that you see this date as anything that really stands out to you, right? This isn't anything extraordinary, which the date itself, it's never really about the date, is it? Right? Like, it's always about the person that we're sharing that date with. And So, excuse me, it's just really hot in my apartment. And so, I mean, I feel like this person could take you out on like the most lavish place ever, and there would still be a weird vibe for you, if I'm gonna be honest. I think with this Two of Wands in reverse, you're kind of bored, and this person might actually be kind of taking control of the conversation, right? You may not feel like they're picking up on your social cues. You may not feel like they're really giving you the ability to change direction of the conversation. There is, with the Wheel of Fortune and with Justice, what I'm seeing is there is kind of a shift somewhere within the date where your perspective of how you can relate to this person changes a little bit. This might actually be somebody that you end up picking up as a friend, right? Not somebody that you're really interested in dating, but someone where you're like, okay, the vibe as a romantic partner was not great, but you know what? Like, they have a good heart. They were kind of interesting to listen to. And they're a little bit of an oddball. And so even though the date itself wasn't particularly spectacular, I feel like there is this sense of like, okay, I'm going to do what's right for me. And I know that this person is going to respect that. And maybe we will keep in touch in other ways. But at the end of the day, with this Nine of Wands, it just kind of leaves you wanting more, right? Like, you're like, oh gosh, I have to get back out there, get back on the journey towards finding the kind of person that I want to be with. I am sorry to deliver this message to you. I know that's not exciting, but we will get some messages from the Oracle cards. You know, at the very least, this gives you an opportunity to figure out like what you don't want in somebody. Or maybe like what you would like more of in a partner. And you might pick up a fairly nice acquaintance or friend along the way by just engaging with this person. Okay, what can you tell us about this date? Release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. So this could be a situation where maybe you're holding on to your ex and like this person, you might be struggling to let go of your ex and accept people with behaviors that are different. Like maybe you might be looking for somebody who is similar to your ex, right? We look for things that are familiar. Conversely, especially with this Ace of Cups in reverse, this person might talk about their ex, right? Like they could be kind of stuck on them, and that might be what turns you off, where you're just like, this person isn't even emotionally available, right? Okay, playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. Overall, you know, this person, I think, can be playful. I was getting that energy, you know, kind of like a Sprite-like energy or whatever. But just treat this this experience playfully. Don't dwell too much on it. You know, if you're disappointed, it doesn't have to go that deep. I know it's really frustrating when we're looking for a partner or we want to have a good time on a date and we're not like meeting those expectations. We're not receiving that. But just being lighthearted about the situation and accepting it for what it is, I think will really help you. And then it is safe for you to love, open your heart, and give and receive the highest energy of all. And so really this is just encouragement, like if you do have an ex that you are stuck on, to really work on letting that go, and giving other people opportunities, but also just understanding that like this person does have good intentions, and it's okay to be like thankful for the situation, even if it didn't work out, even if it wasn't like what you were looking for. What else can you tell us about this state? The butterfly, relationship evolving to the next phase, healing the inner child, growth. This could be somebody down the line that you do develop more of a romantic connection with. It's maybe that one or both of you needs to release someone or something from the past, or maybe you just kind of need to get to know each other a little bit more. Sometimes those first dates can be a little bit awkward, so this could be an encouragement to like give it another shot if you're disappointed. Heart with the key, welcoming love, meeting the one, open your heart, getting together, and perfect. I think what we're looking at with that is that this person can play a significant role in your life. How long is up to you. Even if you want them in your life is up to you. But this person could end up being just a really good friend. This person could eventually down the road become someone that you do have a strong romantic relationship with. Or this person could introduce you potentially to someone else that might be a better fit for you. Or even bring in more friends in your life for some of you. I think this person would have a really good crowd of friends that would be very loving and accepting. All right, and one more message. No. One more message. Intense. The intensity of a true soul connection includes highs and lows. That might be, like we talked about, part of what kind of turns you off a little bit about this person is they might seem too intense, especially if they're talking about past struggles. You know, I'm someone who does get very deep very quickly when I'm connecting with people. Like, I don't like small talk. I talk about the real shit. And that's not for everyone, you know? And at the end of the day, if you're finding that this is what's happening during this date and you don't really want to talk about things like that, you can let them know. And maybe they'll be a little insecure about that or not, but I think they would be very open to shifting the paradigm of the conversation if you suggested it. All right, group number 2, I hope that you resonated with this reading. If you did, please let me know how in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to become a part of the family and haven't done so, you can hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know whenever I upload a new video. And if you would like a personal reading, I do offer them. You can contact me. My information is in the description box down below. Just shoot me an email and I'll get in touch with you about my list of services. All right, bye. Hello, group number 3. If you chose the Jeep with the words that say, remember, I love you, then this will be your reading on your next date and who with. We're going to take a look at that person right now. So we have card number 23 with Freyr, abundance, peace, and contentment. We have card number 4 with Cancer and immerse. And we have card number 26 with the comic. All right, let's get into it. Let's get ready to rumble. So with this romance, I love you on the Jeep, this is a person who may have more outdoorsy interests. They may travel a lot. They could be at a distance from you. I also get that they're very sweet, right? They could be very romantic, even early on. They might be the kind of person who likes to leave like little love notes or send you text messages like good morning. Even if it's not like super strong, like not, you know, not love bombing. It's just they could give off this very sweet energy in the very beginning. Now, whether they are masculine or feminine, they might have broader features. They could have like this square face shape, wavy hair. They could dress in like more casual attire, and like a lot of like earthy tones. This is somebody who may have a fairly good job. And if it's not like a high paying job, I could see this being somebody who maybe went to like a trade school and they learned a skill, right? Which, okay, to be fair, those can be very high paying jobs, but they've got a career and they manage their finances in a way where they can provide for themselves, right? Like, this isn't a scrub, okay? They, with the comic, are probably very funny, have a good sense of humor, probably somebody who likes to make you laugh. It could be hiding something a little bit deeper. With the Cancer card, we do talk about oftentimes people who are very good at nurturing others, but they kind of neglect themselves. I just saw 222. Or they don't reveal much about themselves at first, even though the Cancer card talks about immersion, right? I feel like this is somebody who could be a little bit more mysterious. We've got the moon here. Moon is about intuition, but it's also about mystery, right? Illusions. So there's something about this person that you can't put your finger on quite yet. So if you watch TikTok, you know that Norwegian guy who's like always like, what do you expect when you're flirting with a Norwegian man? And he's like, you know, buff and ripped and like sexy and toned and everything like that. But then like he's like, you know, what versus reality where he's like, yoo-hoo. That could be this kind of person where they might appear more intimidating at first, but when you get to know them or when they let their guard down, like they're just like really big sweethearts. It's kind of like noteworthy that with this card we have this orange cat, and then when I think of orange cats now, I always think of like when they talk about, you know, the orange cat and its one brain cell. So they might not appear the most intelligent at first. I don't think that's necessarily true. This might not be the type of person who really does have deep philosophical conversations or conversations about politics or finances, but they have their interests and they have their expertise, and I think they're very proficient in discussing those. But then it's also like with this cat, it's like there are these other eyes underneath, right? And it kind of looks a little bit trained. So there is a deeper side to this person that they don't reveal right away, okay? But they are very nurturing. They are very caretaking. And they may sometimes overextend themselves. We see with this comic card, we've got these, what is it? Is it all the colors of the rainbow, I think? And they're extending in different directions. So I could see this person having a lot of interests or a lot of responsibilities. They might spread themselves thin sometimes. And then we've got this party hat on the comic, which is, to me, signifies that this is somebody who's probably very popular in their community. They might be very sociable. They might even host get-togethers from time to time. But let's get into what the actual date is like, right? Okay, what can you tell us about this date with group number 3? The World in reverse with the 5 of Pentacles in reverse. The 6 of Swords. The 5 of Wands in reverse. Judgment in reverse. It's stuck on the table. I think it's wax. What else can you tell us about this date? We've got the 7 of Pentacles in reverse with the 4 of Pentacles in reverse. The Devil in reverse. And the 2 of Wands upright with the 3 of Swords in reverse. I think this date, sorry, Pam. Sorry. I think this date comes on unexpectedly, or there were issues in the past where maybe you tried to go on a date with this person and the plans had to get canceled. So there's a feeling of either a plan with other people got canceled, whether it was like you were going on a date with someone else, or like you and your friends were supposed to hang out and that didn't happen, or you previously tried to go on a date with this person and for whatever reason that first date didn't happen. But there's been some ending somewhere, and then this opportunity presents itself. It feels, to be honest, it feels very last minute, right? Like you're leaving a situation that didn't work out and you're like, you know what? Since this didn't happen, I'm going to go meet up with this person. I'm going to go meet up with Freyr. Okay? I do feel like it involves travel for some of you. The Five of Wands in reverse with Judgment in reverse. It's kind of like a surprise, right? This person surprises you. They might come and pick you up, or they might give you a location. And I mean, if you have the location, you're probably going to have a general sense of the idea of like what you guys are going to do. But like they could take you out to like, hey, meet me at this park, right? But not in like a creepy way. Like you're not feeling like threatened at all. Okay? I want to clarify that. Like it's not in the middle of the nighttime. But I feel like this person has a plan and they don't necessarily let you in on the complete plan. It could be that they just kind of spontaneously came up with it as well. Whatever it is, it's very relaxing. We've got the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, which can talk about impatience, but it also means kind of like resting instead of working. And we've got the Four of Pentacles in reverse, which is talking about letting go, right? So there's a possibility that this is just something that's very relaxing. I could see, you know, it being like a little picnic in a park, right? Or like a boat ride down the lake, or enjoying a day at the beach, a music festival, but a little music festival, like music in the park or something like that. Something that is low effort and low responsibility, and low expectation. We've got the Devil in reverse here, which tells me that this is probably something very relaxed and it's very casual. This is not a situation where you're going to be, I think, dressing up extravagantly. I think you could just show up in your street clothes. If you're female, not wearing really any makeup. If you're a male, I don't really, not wearing cologne, I guess. I'm like, what do men really do for dates? And then we've got the Two of Wands here. But it creates this sense of warmth between the two of you, right? This sense of passion. I am getting a feeling that for a lot of you, this is just going to be a beautiful day outdoors. Something very calming, something very relaxed, and something where the two of you really get to know each other on a deeper level. And it's kind of like it ignites this recognition between the two of you that there's this passion, this sense of creativity, that maybe because of how rushed this is in the beginning, you may not have initially expected. Whatever it is, with the Three of Swords in reverse, that tells me it's very healing. It could be just healing from the day because maybe you were frustrated, something didn't work out, or just healing because you're connecting with another human being authentically and you're feeling confident about that connection. So we're going to be getting a little bit more information on this date using oracle cards. Can you tell us more about this date, please? Ooh, stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. Okay, so whatever frustration you're experiencing before this, whether it's with this person or a different situation entirely, allow yourself to be excited. Allow yourself to be optimistic. And I think really the connection you create with this person is going to help you develop that sense of optimism. I could see there being a second date after this. There might not be, but I think that, you know, it's such a relaxing situation, and this person is so calming and so fun and lighthearted that you're like, yeah, why not do it again? Forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. So especially if what didn't work out were like dates in the past with this person, it's going to be important to like forgive them for that, or, you know, forgive yourself for that. Whoever had circumstances that interfered, right? Because sometimes shit just happens, right? It doesn't mean that somebody's flaky. It doesn't mean that they're not interested. It's just sometimes the original plan doesn't work out, and it's okay to give it another try. All right, what else can you tell us about this date? Love, unconditional love, self-love, openness, passion, affection, and attraction. This could be the start of something very beautiful for the two of you. You know, I think that by the end of this, you're going to feel an attraction, and not just like a superficial attraction. Not necessarily that you're like head over heels in love either, but that you're just like, maybe you get the butterflies, or you just feel yourself smiling like an idiot after the end of it. You find yourself thinking about them later that day or the next day, and this is a situation that could lead to something stronger. I'm not taking all those. Okay, the dragonfly. Be lighthearted, finding out things coming to light, adapt, change, and heal. Absolutely. Be lighthearted. Have fun. Be adaptive. You know, it's okay if this person has a surprise for you, right? And you don't really know what to expect. And it's okay to just go with the flow sometimes. Allow yourself to just really live in the moment. And then twin flames, yin yang, zen, balance, union, duality, coupling, complement each other. This could end up being a twin flame relationship, which I'm a little surprised about, because a lot of times when we talk about twin flames, like, we're talking about the heaviness of it. But hey, you know, not everybody agrees on that interpretation of twin flames, and it could be that the two of you have just, the way you've lived this lifetime has really allowed you to come into union and be really compatible. This could also just be a warning that, like, even though it's lighthearted right now, just be mindful if there are any challenges that arise, any red flags that you see, or being open to, like, healing yourself. I said challenge, okay. All true soul connections involve challenges that can be overcome together. All right, so if you do go deeper with this person, just understand that there are going to be some rough patches. You can't manage a relationship on your own, but even if, I feel like this person would be compatible, right? I feel like they would be open to making changes. But even if they weren't, like, you can use any challenges that a relationship presents to you as a way for you to grow as well. Can we get what challenges may arise specifically with this relationship? Boundary. Having sensible boundaries is important. And so you may find that one or both of you may have too strict of boundaries, or that they may be too lax of boundaries. Just finding that balance of having boundaries and being flexible is going to be very important for the success of this relationship. So group number one, 333. I hope that this was useful for you. If you resonated with it, please let me know how in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to join the family, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you know whenever I upload a new video. And if you're interested in a personal reading with me, you can go ahead and find my contact information in the description box down below. Send me an email and I'll give you a list of my services. All right, bye.